Hey everybody, today we're going to change the oil in a 2001 Porsche Boxster. Changing oil is actually really easy, and if you know what you're doing, you can save a few bucks whenever you do it. To me, it's not that much of a hassle. It's actually shorter than me taking the car somewhere and get it done. It really takes me maybe about 20 minutes altogether. So how do you change your oil? All you do is take the drain plug off the bottom, let the oil drain out, and then you take off your filter. You don't want to take your filter off before because the oil will come out of the filter hole. You take the drain plug out, let the oil drain, and you gotta make sure the oil is a little warm so that it helps with coming out really easily, but not hot because it'll melt your drain collector if it's plastic. Open the drain plug, let the oil come down into a collector, and remove the filter. And then you put the plug back in. You have to make sure you put the plug back in so when you fill up with the new oil, it doesn't come out. So you put the plug back in, put the filter back in, and then you go back on the top and pour all your oil in. You just have to make sure you don't pour too much oil in because it's a pain to get too much out because you just have to open up the bottom again. So in a Porsche Boxster, the drain plug is right in the center, about right here in the car, over in there. I really don't like crawling underneath the car when the jack has the car up, so I try to reach in there with my hand and this tool. This has a hex thing and I've taped it to here so that it won't fall off easily. And all I have to do is just reach in there and attach this to the drain plug and loosen the plug and let the oil drip down. A little bit about the oil that I got here. It's high mileage 75K Mobile One. I got this at Walmart for $23. Apparently if you go to Costco, it's actually a little bit more expensive for 6 quarts. And then I bought this Hank's oil filter here. For this car, the filter is a little weird. It's just by itself, the filter. It comes with a new O-ring, so you replace the new O-ring. The cap just comes off and then you put this thing inside the cap, and the cap is reusable. So you want to check your engine, make sure it's not too hot, so just kind of turn it on without turning on the engine and check that the oil temperature is below about 110. So you're actually looking up from the rear wheel on the driver's side. The oil hole is right there. I'm sliding in this oil collector. You see here I have the oil collector here and I have the wrench attached to the drain hole plug. Here's the drain hole plug. Make sure you turn it the right way and then you just loosen it. It's pretty much loosened. Just reach in there and open the rest of the way. And then you just let the oil loose out like this. Yeah. Just turn it on without putting on the clutch. A little oil meter will turn on showing that how much oil you'll have. I just released the oil, so now it's indicating it's really low. You may want to open up the oil cap so that you let in some air so the oil can flow out much easier. You want to keep the oil pan here so that when you release the oil filter, any remaining oil that gets trapped in here will fall into the oil filter as well. So you remove the plug, let some oil drain, and when it's almost done, also remove the oil filter. Here comes the wrench. So you just take the old O-ring back out with the screwdriver, and then you put the new one. This came with your oil filter. You oil this up first with some leftover oil anywhere, and then you put your new one in, and you push it in, and it snaps in place. That's it. Then you screw it back in. One thing about jacking the car up on one side is that you'll tilt the car and then some of the oil might get trapped in there. It turns out that if you tilt the car sideways, it will trap a little bit. But there's an incline in this garage and it tilts the car, the front of the car up a little bit. The back, the entrance is over here. And I lifted the car on both sides on the back and not much came out. So it seems like the oil reservoir would be funneled this way so that it doesn't matter much if you're tilted forward or back. But it does matter if you're tilted sideways because it's not like a circular reservoir. Another good thing about changing the oil yourself is that you can let the oil drip overnight so that all the dirty oil from before comes out and you're not leaving any in there to mix with the new oil. Now I have the oil plug and oil filter removed and all the oil drained out. The next step is to put the plug back in, put the filter back in, and then put in some oil.
So here's the drain plug. Make sure you have the washer on here. See, there's like a little washer. Make sure you don't lose this when you're changing the oil and it drops somewhere in there and you forget it. Put the washer back in. So you just put the plug back in, just screw it back in. Screw it with your hand all the way so that you don't have to deal with using the wrench. And I have the oil filter here with the filter in, and the spot is right here. You can see it. Just slide that in. Just turn it until it's tight. And tighten this. You don't want it too tight because it'll be really hard to remove later.
So the drain plug and the oil filter is plugged in, and you can be sure that when you pour your oil in, it's not just going to leak out the bottom. So all you have to do is just pour your oil back in. Normally I'll let this drain out much more, but I'm kind of in a hurry, so I'm not going to drain it out now. I can do it later. This car needs about 9 quarts, so I'm gonna put in about 8 first, and then check the level, and then I'll put in more accordingly. Make sure you don't get any of these aluminum pieces inside your oil. So that's about, you can read it from the side here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3. About 8 in there. I'll put 8.5. We can check with the ignition. There's an electronic meter in there. We can just read it out. So this is kind of annoying. I actually filled it up with too much oil. I drove it for a little bit and I looked at the indicator on the dash and it showed too low. Turns out I didn't wait long enough, so then it showed lower than it's supposed to, and I panicked. I added a little bit too much in there. And so now I gotta take some out. I need to take about maybe half a quart out. So in my neighborhood we have these oil filter recycling things. You put your used motor oil here, your oil filter in here, and you just put this on top, take it outside, put it next to the garbage can, and they'll come pick it up for you. Put this in here. They want you to drain the oil filter for 24 hours before you put it in this bag, so there's not too much oil in here. This thing is not actually too great for pouring oil. So I'm just gonna close this hole back up, put a funnel in here. Oh shit. So that's all there is to doing the oil change. When I'm not recording the video, it actually takes me a lot less time. One good thing about doing it yourself is that you can let it drain overnight and make sure all the bad oil comes out. And if you're not in a hurry or made it in a hurry while you're recording a video or something, then maybe I recommend not to overfill it whenever you check the oil level, make sure you wait it about 10-20 minutes for the oil to settle down right after the engine spins, so that the oil is reading correctly and so you won't end up overfilling like myself. So that's all there is to it. I hope you liked this video and you learned something. Maybe you'll go and change your oil now. It's really easy once you know how to do it. And don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks.